All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, we are going to be diving into something you probably haven't thought too much about, I bet. It's grip strength.
Hmm.
We've got this scientific article, and it's got some really cool visuals. It compares grip strength across like all different ages and between men and women, even when their muscles are the same size, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's way more to this than just a firm handshake.
Right.
You know, it's linked to like how long we live and how healthy we stay as we get older, and even it kind of sheds light on some pretty interesting differences between men and women.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people, they just don't realize how important grip strength really is. It's a surprisingly good indicator of your overall health.
Okay.
It's like a quick peek into how well your muscles and your nervous system are working together.
So let's get into it.
Data on the screen, numbers come alive. Male, female flows where the patterns thrive. Visual charts, public colors unify. Gender decoded, bringing truth to light. Small drum fill. We break it down, real talk. Trends unveiling, facts from every block. Here's your insight, watch the data glide. Gender decoded, let the beats collide.
This first visualization, it's a scatter plot, and it shows how grip strength changes throughout our lives from, like babies all the way to age 90.
Wow.
So, like, what's the big picture here? What are we seeing?
Well, the pattern's pretty similar for both men and women.
Okay.
Strength goes up during childhood and those young adult years, peaks around age 30, and then it starts to decline.
Okay.
But the real eye-opener is the difference in strength levels between men and women.
Yeah, the article mentioned a difference of 50 kilograms at peak strength.
Huge.
That's a lot, right? Like, what can we even compare that to?
Think of it this way. That 50-kilogram difference is like a man casually holding a small child in one hand while a woman, at her maximum effort,
Oh, wow.
is trying to do the same thing.
Oh, wow.
At their peak, men average about 110 kilograms of grip strength,
Okay.
while women are at 60 kilograms.
Wow, that image really puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
But it gets even wilder. The article says even at age 90, men are still gripping stronger than women at their prime.
It's true.
So what causes this decline as we age for both men and women?
Well, a few things contribute to that. First, we have sarcopenia, which is it's just a fancy way of saying our muscles start to shrink as we get older. Less muscle means less strength. Then there's the tendency to become less active as we age, which doesn't help the situation.
Right.
And of course, hormones play a role too.
Mm.
Testosterone, which men have more of, is a key player in muscle growth and strength. As those levels naturally decrease over time, it impacts grip strength.
Okay, so guys, we've got to stay active.
Yes.
Fight off those shrinking muscles.
Use it or lose it.
Now, this next visualization really surprised me. It compares men and women who have the same muscle thickness.
Right.
And even then, men are stronger. I thought muscle size equals strength, but this seems to just completely blow that out of the water.
Yeah, it's a common misconception.
Okay,
Well, muscle size definitely plays a role. It's not the whole story.
gotcha.
Across 4 different types of strength tests: hand grip, lower body, and 2 upper body measures.
Okay.
Men had a consistent advantage of 15 to 20%, even with equal muscle mass.
Wow.
This suggests there are other factors at play.
Okay, so break it down for us. What else is going on beyond muscle size that gives men that extra edge?
Well, first you have to consider the biological and hormonal differences. Remember testosterone.
Yeah.
It doesn't just build bigger muscles. It also influences the types of muscle fibers we have.
Okay.
Men tend to have more fast-twitch fibers, which are built for those quick bursts of power, whereas women have more slow-twitch fibers, which are geared more for endurance. It's like comparing a sports car engine to one designed for a long-haul truck.
Interesting. So it's like men are built for short bursts of power and women are built for endurance.
Yeah.
Now, that makes me think about those activities where you need both power and endurance, but we can get into that later. What else contributes to this strength difference?
Well, there's also the factor of how our bodies are structured. Men, on average, they have larger hands and longer fingers,
Right.
giving them more leverage for gripping. Imagine trying to loosen a bolt with a tiny wrench compared to a longer one. That extra length gives you more force. It's similar with grip strength.
Okay.
Their skeletal structure, with denser bones and different muscle attachment points, also contributes to how much force they can generate.
So men essentially have a built-in advantage, like they're using a bigger wrench.
Exactly.
But it can't just be about physical differences, right? There's got to be more to the story.
Exactly. Another piece of the puzzle is neuromuscular efficiency,
Okay.
which is how well your brain and nervous system can talk to your muscles and activate them. Some research suggests that men might be able to fire up a greater percentage of their muscle fibers during a task, leading to more strength, even with the same muscle mass.
So we've got hormones, muscle types, body structure, and even how our brains connect to our muscles. That's a lot to unpack. It makes you wonder if those differences mean men and women should approach fitness completely differently.
That's a great question. Understanding these inherent differences can help us tailor fitness approaches to better suit each individual. For men, maintaining that initial strength advantage as they age is key. They might benefit from focusing on exercises that use large muscle groups like squats and deadlifts to maintain overall muscle mass and function. We call those compound exercises.
So instead of focusing on just like bicep curls, guys should be thinking bigger, full body movements.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about for women? How should we approach building strength?
For women, it's about, gradually increasing strength over time. This involves progressively overloading the muscles. Think of it like slowly adding more weight to your exercises or doing a few more reps each time. Consistency is key. It's also important to work all those major muscle groups, legs, back, chest, shoulders, and arms, for a balanced approach.
So no more skipping leg day for anyone. Now, looking back at these visuals, even with those differences, there's still variation within each gender. The scatter plot shows some women have grip strengths that rival some men's, and vice versa. So it's not like every single man is a strong man and every woman needs help opening a jar, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These graphs show us averages, but we have to remember everyone is unique. Your genes, how active you are, what you eat, even your stress levels, all those things play a role in your individual strength. Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to others. Focus on your own progress and what works for you.
I love that. It's a good reminder that fitness is a personal journey, not a competition. Speaking of interesting things, the article mentions that some scientists think these strength differences between men and women might actually be rooted in evolution. Is that right?
Yes. It's fascinating to think about. The theory suggests men's upper body strength may have evolved for things like hunting and protecting their territory back in the day. Meanwhile, women's strength in their lower bodies could be linked to gathering food and carrying children. Of course, this is just a theory, but it's a cool way to think about how our bodies might have adapted over time.
It really makes you wonder, those ancient adaptations, could they still be influencing our strength potential today? I mean, we're not all out hunting woolly mammoths anymore, but those instincts might still be with us.
It definitely makes you think. But regardless of those evolutionary explanations, understanding these differences in strength is vital for everyone's well-being, men and women.
All right, so we've explored these visualizations, dug into the reasons behind those strength differences, and even touched on those fascinating evolutionary theories. I'm curious, what's the one big takeaway you hope listeners walk away with today?
Strength is important. It's about more than just looking good or lifting heavy things. It's linked to our physical health, how we age, and even our mental well-being. And while there are clear biological differences between men and women, everyone can benefit from incorporating strength training into their lives.
And it's never too late to start. So what are some real-world implications of all this? We've talked about those differences in grip strength, but how does that actually play out in everyday life or even in sports?
Great point. Think about activities that rely heavily on grip strength, rock climbing, tennis, weightlifting. Those inherent differences could impact performance or even injury risk.
Even simple things like carrying groceries or playing with your kids. It's amazing how grip strength factors into so much of our daily lives, and those gender differences could be playing a role in ways we don't even realize. Makes you look at those everyday tasks a little differently, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It's a reminder that the science of strength is complex and there's always more to learn.
That's what makes these deep dives so exciting. We're constantly uncovering new insights and challenging what we thought we knew. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. We've talked a lot about how men and women differ when it comes to strength, but how could this knowledge change the way we approach fitness?
That's the million-dollar question. Should men and women train differently based on their biological predispositions? How can we design fitness programs that address those unique strengths and weaknesses?
It's like we've opened up a whole new set of questions, and that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive. We give you the knowledge, and you take it from there. So to our listeners, have you ever thought about grip strength like this before? Did any of this spark some new ideas about your own workouts?
I hope so. And if you're curious to see where you stand, it's easy to test your own grip strength. You can find hand grip dynamometers online. Some are even designed to use at home. It's a fun way to get a snapshot of your strength and see how you progress over time.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking mine now. Well, that wraps up another deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing grip strength in a whole new light.
Me too. It's more than just a firm handshake. It's a window into our health and even our evolutionary past.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
And don't forget, strength is something we can all cultivate and celebrate.